everyone, Broheen here from the Gamer Emporium YouTube channel, bringing you a level 60 Mage spec. We're going to take a look at 61 Stormcaller today. Let's go right into the soul trees. We're going to try to make this quick and painless. 61 Stormcaller, fill that entire thing up. 5 in Harbinger, your 5 points are going to go into Eldritch Knowledge. 10 in Dominator, 5 are going to go into Mental Fortitude, the other 5 are going to go into Acumen. Might as well take a look at the macros right away, just because you guys are going to want them and write them down, copy and paste, make them as the video is going, however you want to do it, we'll list them off quick. You're going to have 3 macros. One of them is going to be your biggest hitting macro, which is your Stormcaller AoE, is what I call it. It's all your 3 main abilities, Eye of the Storm, Lightning Storm, and Hailstorm. Basically, show Eye of the Storm, suppress macro failures. It really doesn't matter the way I do it, which one you show, because I watch all 3 of them on the bar right here. So I see when they're coming off cooldown. I really don't need to look at the icon that the macro is tied to. So suppress macro failures, put a cast in brackets, not active, static flux. Static flux is your toggled damage buff, which also gets an additional 10% increase through the soul tree. So it's actually increased damage done by 30%. That's crazy. So make sure that is up every time you do this macro, and having the not active static flux in your macro should be fine. Your first spam, we'll get to the rotation and why we're calling it a spam later. There really isn't a main spam for the spec, but there's 2 different off spams, I guess. So the first one is show static nova, suppress macro failures, cast static nova, cast lightning arc, cast pouring rain, cast lightning field. Your second one is show storm surge, suppress macro failures, cast electric charge, cast arctic blast, cast storm surge, cast pouring rain, cast lightning field. All done for the macros. Onto the rotation. I'm going to pull up a couple things in here, kind of show you a little bit. Starting with buffs, let's start with buffs. Your buffs are going to be Tempest Armor, which comes out of your Stormcaller tree. Come on, where are you? Tempest Armor. You're going to use Lightning Charge out of the Harbinger tree. And then I just have my crystal and my trinket down here, so that way I don't screw up, you know, having the wrong one on, especially when I'm raiding and whatnot. A couple of the main abilities you need to be aware of. This spec is solely AoE. This is the Mage's one true AoE spec. That's all this spec is good for. Do not try to solo, or do not try to, well, maybe try to solo. It works sometimes. But don't try to single target in this spec whatsoever. I do have 3 single target abilities here just for when necessary, but we're not going to use them in this video because this is all about AoE. So static discharge is a nice raid buff. I don't use it much though, but it'll increase the damage that everybody in the raid does by 680 air damage. Can only occur 10 times. Not really that awesome. Pouring Rain resets the cooldown on every Stormcaller ability except for itself. So that's macroed in with your first spam, which is going to allow us to go all the way through your Forked Lightning, Cloudburst, what's the other one? Lightning Field is what I was looking for. Your 3 main AoE abilities, those 3 that I watch right down here. Then Icy Vortex, an Icicle if it's on non-global cooldown, or a free proc cast. I mean, sorry about that. Then, you know, it's in your first spam macro, which once you get through this, you'll end up with 0 stacks of Electrified, and you'll be able to go right back into your 3 heavy hitters. So that's freaking awesome. It's one of the best abilities. It's what allows Stormcaller to be such high DPS. Now I've thought about Ice Shear. Ice Shear is good, I guess, if you're going to be single targeting, but that's really it. It receives a bonus per stack of Electrified, so it's 30% increased damage. But again, single target, not really worth it in this spec. So let's see where. Yeah, that's really about it. I don't really use, I mean, Hailstorm's really all you need for hypothermia to build up, along with Icy Vortex and Icicle as well. Then, as I mentioned before, Static Flux is, you know, a must-have. You have to have that on, otherwise the spec is going to do not very well compared to, even compared to a Harbinger with their one-button spam for AoE. Definitely not going to compare to a SAB. On these practice dummies, it compares to a SAB quite well. I haven't really been up to date with the new SAB specs. I haven't played the Rogue much, but apparently it keeps up quite well. I've seen it in raids. Storm Guard's good to have on the bar just because it reduces damage you take if you're getting into an oh shit situation. Pop it. As long as you have charge, it's going to consume your charge and it's going to help reduce damage you take. Out of the Dominator tree, just keep Reflective Command up, you know, at your will. Depending on the situation, Transmogrify is good, even though there's not any other points into it to keep them squirreled. Lightning Charge is one of your buffs. That's it. Into the rotation. So rotation wise, we're going to start with, now keep in mind my bars are set up different than what yours are probably going to be because I use a Razer Naga, 12 thumb buttons, so it's all about pattern for me, not order on the bar. So first thing you're going to start off with is a Forked Lightning. You're going to do that 5 times. If you accidentally hit a 6th, oh well, sometimes this rotation needs a little extra buffer. So start off with 5 of those to build your 5 stacks of Electrified. Use a Cloud Burst, which is going to do an increased 15% per stack of Electrified. So that's going to make this hit for, what, 70% more, 75% more. And then hit them with a lightning field. Now when you hit with lightning field, it deals damage to all the enemies, or up to 8 enemies, but it also consumes your stacks of Electrified, and it's also damage is also amplified by each stack of Electrified. So hit that once, then move into your main AoE with Static Flux and the 3 heavy hitters. Let all those go down. The last one you cast is going to be a channel, which is Lightning Storm. Once that finishes, hit them with Icy Vortex. If you have a Icicle proc, hit them with Icicle. Then go into your first main spam. Once this is over, your Pouring Rain will have refreshed all of your abilities. So from there, go right back into using your Static Flux and your 3 main hitters. Once that's over with, then go to, I lost my train of thought, go to your Storm Surge macro here, your second spam. Finish that through. By the time that's done with Lightning Field in there, you'll have no more stacks of Electrified. At that point in time is where the rotation resets. So 5 more Forked Lightning, then a Cloud Burst, Lightning Field, and you should be back ready to go to Eye of the Storm. If not, skip that step, hit them with an Icy Vortex and Icicle if you have the proc, and go back into your spam. More so, what the deal is here is you want to keep your AoEs, your main AoEs, 3 main AoEs on cooldown all the time, except in the very beginning of the rotation, building up to that point. But other than that, all the time. So you're going to be switching around a little bit. Rotation is going to get kind of funky, but as long as you keep them on cooldown and you go between Forked Lightning and your 2 different spam abilities on cooldown, you'll be absolutely fine. So check this out. We're going to into a rotation here. So the meter, we're going to clear, and we're going to start casting. All my buffs are up already. Once we're at 5 stacks of Electrified, you'll see here. Now we'll hit a 6th. All 3 of them up. Once that's done, Icy Vortex, Icicle proc, start hitting with your spam. Now you see those 3 got reset. Now once you're out of Electrified, go right back into your Static Flux and 3 heavy hitter. Look at that, we're doing 57k, 59k. Use your my number 6 button for your other spam. Once you're out of Electrified, go back to your Forked Lightning. 5 times. Now we're not quite there yet, so start hitting your spam. Once you're out of electrified, now we're there. You can hit your big AoE again. Now your second spam is up again. Spam that till you're out of electrified. And go back to forked lightning. 61.5k after the first minute. It's actually really good. Not quite there on that macro again. Hit the spam. And something went wrong. I think I tapped the button to turn static flux on, so I lost my charge to use Eye of the Storm. But you guys get the idea here. But doing that much DPS is going to be freaking awesome in a raid environment where you're killing lots of trash. Sometimes when you're soloing, specifically a lot of stuff that's lower level than you, it works on. To me, it doesn't seem to have proven to work on things equal level very well. At least not big mobs where you're fighting 10 or more. Harbinger's better for that, but hopefully you guys give her a whirl. Hopefully you like it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel. We are planning some 1,000 plat giveaways soon, but we need more subscribers. I know the channel's just getting kicked off here, but we need more subscribers before we do that, but those will be in the mix in the future, hopefully the near future. I have 3,200 plat here right now. Who knows if I'll spend it by then, but clearly I'm capable of making the money happen. So subscribe, like, comment, whatever you need to do. Talk to me. I'll be here to help, and you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching.